Donald Trump has ruled out putting US troops on the ground in Ukraine under any potential deal to end Russia's war. Well, fire broke out at an oil refinery and plumes of smoke covered parts of the central Ukrainian Poltava region after what Ukraine says was the Kremlin's biggest missile and drone attack this month. And it happened hours after the US president's high-stakes talks with the Ukrainian president and European leaders in Washington, where Mr. Trump pledged to back European security guarantees for Ukraine. But he says US forces won't be on the ground in Ukraine.
When it comes to security, they're willing to put people on the ground. We're willing to help them with things, especially probably if you talk about by air, because nobody has the kind of stuff we have. Really, they don't have. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think if a deal is made, famous last words, right? But I think if a deal is made, I think Russia's had it. They've all had it. And for a very extended period of time, I don't think there'll be a problem. But there'll be some form of security. It can't be NATO because that's just not something that would ever happen.
The White House says the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, has promised to meet directly with the Ukrainian leader before a possible three-way discussion takes place with Donald Trump. But that appears at odds with the Kremlin. It's not ruling out a bilateral or trilateral meeting, but says there's a process that needs to be followed before top-level talks.
In order to prepare summits step by step, gradually, starting from the expert level and going through all the necessary steps, we will always support such a serious approach. Any contacts involving top officials should be prepared very carefully.
Many of Kyiv's allies see that as a delaying tactic and why Moscow has resisted calls for an unconditional ceasefire before a formal deal is agreed to. Members of the Coalition of the Willing, including Australia, have met virtually to discuss further military support for Ukraine and additional sanctions to put more pressure on Russia. The European Council President says Ukraine's membership to the EU also needs to advance.
Ukraine's future is not only about strong security guarantees and underpinning a potential peace deal with Russia, but also about its European path. This is why we must move forward with the enlargement process.
In the past week, Donald Trump has met face-to-face with both the Russian and Ukrainian leaders. The US president says it's up to them to decide how to end the war, including finding agreement on territorial issues. In Kyiv, many Ukrainians are sceptical about the prospect of peace.
It doesn't smell like peace yet. I think Putin will not go for it. He is not that kind of person. I really wanted it all to end peacefully, but unfortunately, a lot of our people died, and it is very bitter.
The fact that Trump shows at every step that he has a cold attitude towards Ukraine means that there have been no expectations for a long time. There are hopes only on our armed forces, on Ukrainians, on supporting each other, and not on any illusions about world politics, any leaders.